Middle class kind of gives you the idea that there are three levels: rich, middle, and poor. To divide the American economic pie into 5/5. Generally speaking, we would look at the top fifth as wealthy, the next second fifth as upper middle class, of course. The third would be the middle class, and then there'd be the working poor and the poor. Now, this, of course, is very, but it's probably not the case that it's a middle. It's probably the case that 1 out of 5 people in this country are really, really hurting and struggling with poverty. It's probably the case that another fifth, the fifth above them that are working, are really, really struggling. And the middle fifth, and even the next fifth above that, are certainly probably not enjoying the kind of comfort and relaxation that they did 50 years ago. What has changed over time, what is very, very clearly has changed over time, is that the society has become more unequal. It is indisputable that we are considerably less equal today than we were 50 years ago. What might be disputable is the reasons why. The conventional liberal response, which I, for the most part, support, is that tax policies up until the 1980s, from the 1930s to the 1980s, tax policies, federal income tax, was used as a method of social engineering to keep the range of equality in the United States close. The Republican Revolution that began with the election of Ronald Reagan in 1980, very much as one of its core values, looked at repealing this so-called progressive tax structure. And that has happened. That has happened significantly, and it has also happened in state government. It's also happened as income taxes get less revenue and more revenue gets put through things like taxes on cigarettes or toll collection on bridges. All of these changes, dramatic changes in tax structure, have fallen much more heavily on the middle and lower ranks and considerably less heavily on the upper ranks. So the conventional liberal explanation is that tax structure has created the inequality. I would agree with that, and that is that we've experienced a tremendous revolution of rising expectations. And so what we all expect, the stuff that we need or have to have, is much greater now than it was 50 years ago. It's amazing how much stuff we have that costs a lot of money that everybody assumes and expects that they have to have. So this all kind of confuses the issue of wealth. Make no mistake that the economic trends in the country over the last 30 years, regardless of the tax policies, have also been trends that have made the economy increasingly an economy of winners and losers. And what we saw in the 1980s was that poor people really started to lose big. What we saw in the 1990s was that the working poor really started to lose big. And what we're now seeing in the last cycle here since the crisis of 2008 is that the middle class is really struggling and starting to lose big. So it's a complex problem. It's a long way to go before it shakes out. Certainly, the tax structure is one set of policies that we'd have to look at. But all of these other social policy issues that were brought up in this election, from healthcare to loans for college students to quality of public education available across the board to anyone, all of these issues cut very, very much into this equation.
because the winners are able to simply buy the best and have the best, and more people are not able to be in that category. We're able to buy the best and forget about the rest.